One of the things that really sets Heroes of the Storm apart from a lot of the other MOBAs is the objective game, and the way that the objectives are just varying from map to map, being way different than, for example, your League of Legends, which is just your standard straight up MOBA. Smite doing the same thing as well as Dota. What we see from Heroes of the Storm is completely different. They have the normal standard objectives with killing the enemy base, as well as adding in their own unique objectives for each map. Now, one of the things that is most important about those objectives is being able to assess the value behind the different objectives. For example, or just to put that straight, like when should you, for example, go and push for standard objectives like turrets, gates, forts? When do you push for them personally, and when do you focus on taking the map-specific objective? So, in the previous map pool, we saw the Haunted Mines. The first golem could only cap at 60. That means getting any skulls beyond that is basically just to prevent your opponent from getting it. But if your team, for example, have someone like Sylvanas, who can easily push towers, if you have a very hard pushing capable team, maybe after getting 60, you do not necessarily have to try to fight and get those lost skulls. And this is where being able to assess the value comes into the picture. Being able to say, okay, what is the value behind getting, for example, the lost 40 skulls after you get the first 60, compared to just push for towers? And when do you just, you know what, it's not worth, maybe we could let one or two players stay bot or stay down below, whilst you go up and, for example, soak XP, you focus on getting objectives, so on and so forth, you know? Just having someone push during the first golem is a huge thing. If you were able to get 2 turrets and 1 gate with just 1 or 2 players, whilst the rest of the team have already gotten, for example, say 50, or if you're able to get close to 50, you're basically close to maxing out your golem, and you're still getting advantages around the map, and especially soaking experience, which is so huge. I think someone did the math on it, and if I remember correctly, one wave is something along the lines of 265 XP, whilst a turret, for example, is 400. So if you're being able to, if you're getting close to level 10, you know, that is a huge, huge turning point. Maybe you'd like to say, you know what, just keeping one person up on ground level to soak XP, whilst the rest of us just, you know, stall down here, that can be huge. If you're able to get level 10, suddenly even a 4v5 can be won. And at the same time, if you're getting other, how can you say, real objectives, such as turrets, that is just huge and can put your team far ahead. Sky Temple is a great example on, like, how much do you want to fight for the different objectives? Do you want to say, for example, the first temple openings is both going to be middle and top temple opening. Do you then want to split up your team? Is how much value do you get out of that, with the risk of, for example, losing both of them, right? Okay, so to explain that better, say that you send 2 people to get the top one and have 3 people remaining at the mid temple. If the 2 guys up top get killed because their entire 5-man squad aim to get the top temple, then you will have suddenly 3v5. They can leave 1 up top and go 4. You will still get some value out of the shots from the mid one, but still you would probably lose, and you know, then you would suddenly have 0 temples. You will probably have gained like half a temple's value, whilst they are getting 1 entire and getting another half off the mid one. So at this point in time, you gotta basically say, how much value is there really behind trying to spread out and get all the objectives, instead of just saying, you know what, we can just take 1 temple, let them get to 1 temple, and play around that. So what I like to focus on, for example, personally, I think it's 70% win rate with Murky, and early game Murky fights is not my favorite thing in the world. I do not like to fight those early game skirmishes, You know, I can do some harass. I can be in the team if I have to. But personally, just saying, okay, you know what? We do not need to contest both objectives here. In this situation, for example, if the entire team can just stay on the mid temple and I can split push, that can be huge. Because if I'm able to get 1 or 2 turrets on that whilst the laser is trying to kill other turrets, suddenly we can perhaps get some more damage onto the forts, and we have gotten value out of, as well as the experience bonus that I'm giving the team. Basically, one of the strong points, this is also why Vikings have such a high win rate. If I go to HOTS logs right now, sorry about the high typing sounds, if we go to HOTS logs right now, who got the highest win rate in this game? In top 6, we have the Lost Vikings on a 54.7% win rate. Why is that? People seem to think that Lost Vikings are not an amazing champ. Well, it's because you're able to soak so much experience, you're able to pressure the map in all different locations, even when your team wants to focus on an objective, which is the huge part here. This is what I like to focus on when I say assessing the objective value. How much value can we get out of an objective? How much value can we get out of getting a temple compared to leaving, for example, one person away for soaking? Will he or she be able to soak enough XP to justify leaving the objective? Or will get enough value from all just focusing on the objective and leave no one to soak? Of course, this varies as you get closer to level 10, 16, 20, obviously. When you get closer to the important leveling points, having someone being able to soak can be huge if the objective is not giving you instantly enough XP. I just think that this is something that not enough people really think about, and what really defines the pro game, right? If you ever watch, for example, if you were watching BlizzCon, the World Finals, we could see a lot of the focus were around, okay, do we want to take this objective now? Do we want to take it later? How much emphasis are we going to put on an objective compared to just soaking experience, getting towers, pushing, all that kind of fun jazz? So that is it. Thank you for watching.